Hello YouTube, wanted to welcome you back for build part 2 of the 1964 Daytona Sportsman. This is the AMT release of the 1964 Galaxie. So quite a bit of work got done tonight on build day 2. The biggest part that got finished was the removal of the molded in exhaust pipes and mufflers back here. As you can see, I went ahead and left a couple of little remnants of the pipe. Getting them cut out would be such a daunting task to do. It wasn't worth it in these positions, as if you would turn the vehicle over, having the exhaust pipes cutting out the sides, leaving the pipes in through here would be extremely visible, and I just didn't want that. So at this point, like I said, I went ahead and opted to leave those in. As you can tell, again, the bottom side's not exactly the most detailed. Also took a Dremel tool that I have, not an actual Dremel, it is a mini drill that I picked up off of eBay, and I have a old train, toy train, lifelike specifically power supply that I used for this DC motor, just to get the low RPMs. Used that with a diamond burring tool, just a cheap set that I picked up, to go ahead and take out some of the mold seams that run right in through here. Used to have a couple of really distinct mold lines right through the wheel wells, so got those knocked out. You can still see a little bit of a shadowing of this one here. I still feel it a little bit, but it's definitely a lot better. In either case, though, like I said, got all of these out, which was the first task that I went ahead and did tonight, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. Also went ahead and got the remnants of the pipe that came out to go into the muffler system here. Got that cut out as well. So moving on from the lower chassis, we got the tub itself. I have went ahead and just done some dry fits and got the roll cage all assembled. I'll go ahead and drop the dash into place so you can kind of get an idea of what it'll look like. The steering wheel is going to need to be tweaked as to its final position to get it to the exact location it needs to be. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me actually tip you guys down a little bit more. So the steering wheel will need to be moved back to fit with where the seat will go, which is basically right on that peg. I know that the roll cage does look a little cockeyed in this in the camera, and even in real life it does look a little bit. However, once it is dropped into the main body of the car, get that lined all up and in, it actually fits into the car correctly and actually looks, well, in my opinion, it looks awesome in this thing. Looks like, what the car would have had, and almost looks pretty close to what the pictures even show of the car. So again, really pretty happy about that. I'll get that painted up in a gloss black to match that. Now again, this is more of a dry fit. I will get that to lock in. There we go. This is more of a dry fit, so I can go ahead and pull the entire cage out. I might go ahead and try to just lightly sand and straighten these out. Went ahead, and as there is no real true good interior pictures of this thing, went ahead and built it with this bar more straight. And because if this one was straight, it would have went into the padding right behind the head. I went ahead and built this one at more of an angle for that reason. Taking a look though, it's a really tight fit into the car, and I think that also kind of deals with the skewing effect to it. But overall, the Plastic Productions roll cage is actually a really nice one. I did go ahead and leave out the two optional center supports that again are optional. You can build this up with, but again, looking at photos from the day of other stock cars, they didn't really have them. It really was this basic of a cage, and in most cases they didn't even have the rear 6 points. It was only a 4-point roll cage that was put into place. So as you can see though, when it drops in really nicely. So that will get set aside for paint here shortly. The other bit of work that I went ahead and worked with was the engine, getting the heads put on. Got those all mounted in, as well as the front. Kind of did a little bit of cleanup work to the seam lines, trying to get rid of some of them that are going to be more visible. The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm pretty sure I'm never going to show this engine. I might go ahead and leave the hood as a soft fit just to show the top of it. But again, the kit's underside being so basic, I really am just not that impressed with it. I'm still planning on running new exhaust piping down the side to match up to the engine, but again, just the way that it drops in and is just not that impressive to me. The other thing that I'm not that enthused with is the design of here for the engine support. This is the best that I could get it, and I'm still not happy with it. So I'm probably going to go ahead and cut off the engine mounts, take a look at another Galaxie, or just kind of custom make my own engine support mounts, just something to hold this engine into place. Just because, again, it really just doesn't work. It has a support bit here that's supposed to have it like this, but when you do that, you couldn't put the racing oil pan in. That wouldn't fit correctly. So again, when dealing with these old kits, sometimes you just have to, go ahead and say, I'm done, trying to make the kit part work. I'm gonna just have to custom make something to get it working. So other thing I went ahead and did was got a good fit of the manifold here, intake manifold. So as you can see, let me get that a little closer there. Put the lock in. And I'll go ahead and turn the brightness down. That way the contrast is a little better. As you can see, even just as a soft fit, that really fits nicely. Little adjustment will have to be made here and there. Looks like this one headset decided to move a little bit, but overall that really is a great soft fit. Even under this level of magnification, it really fits in there nicely. So I'll go ahead and, like I said, be painting these up separately. The motor, from all pictures and references I can find, for the R code 427s was a gloss black. So I'm going to go ahead and do the motor and the heads in that. Then I'm going to go ahead and mask up the transmission and bell housing. Go ahead and get all of that painted into a metal color. And then get the intake manifold, most likely a steel color, and then get the rest of the engine painted up and put together. Outside of that, the last bit of work that I did, you might have noticed it earlier with the body, is just filling up a couple of sink marks that are on each of the two sides. There are mold lines that also was lightly stepped, and it basically is creating a really nasty sink mark in there. So I've went ahead and got that all ready to go, and that all cleaned up. Went ahead and got rid of mold lines here at the back, and as you can see, using a couple bits of strip styrene, went ahead and put in the rear window blowout catch. So if air got in and tried to blow the rear window out, it would basically prevent that from happening, is what it was designed to do. So again, pretty busy night here at the bench. Got quite a bit done. I was hoping to get some stuff into paint tonight, but just didn't quite work out that way. It took a little longer to get those exhaust pipes out. So in either case, hope you've enjoyed kind of part 2 here of the video build for my 1964 Galaxie Daytona Sportsman. Have a wonderful rest of your day.